So it's just an update. It's my elderberry bush, but a little earlier I just saw this. See? All of them were there. That looks like a clean cut. It means someone was in my garden, you know. And one of these fences, there was a guy, I caught a guy just walking through there and walking right through my garden when the fences weren't up here. So there is a gap there that I obviously have to close. But, you know, for somebody who doesn't work, you wouldn't believe how much I've got to do. Cutting the grass, for example, you know. But there's really much more to do with my case. I don't really need to explain it, but, you know, obviously I'm trying to get justice, and that takes a lot of paperwork and due diligence and all of that stuff. I also want to talk about gaslighting. I just had an encounter, you know, with one of the gang stalkers there, and there's this, how do I say this? These gang stalkers are getting away with it because they pretend to be helping us. All right? I've said it many times before. All right? And they are absolutely horrified and offended when one of us figures out that they're gang stalkers, you know. I'm not talking about all of them, but, you know, there's all different kinds of gang stalkers, and I'm not going to go into it because it's boring to me. But there are some that, you know, are kind of like handlers, yeah. And yeah, and I've said this before also, it's like they want to induce Stockholm syndrome, all right? So they really pretend that they're just very nice people and that we've got them all wrong, okay? You understand? And so she gave me what was left of the chicken feed, because as I said, she was feeding, and I saw it was right there. Anyway, I'm not going to go into it, but she denied what I had said on the video and was, you know, acted as if she was very offended. This is gaslighting, all right? Listen, if they know what my triggers are, they know these particular words and phrases and actions and things, and they do them deliberately, okay? They are gang stalkers, period. And if they happen to come out at the same time as I have come out, you know, very frequently, they are gang stalkers, all right? Okay? Another one of those aircraft. Actually, last night there was a load of them flying over. I don't know quite what's up with that. Now, I want to say this. They have left me alone for quite a while now, all right? They have. That doesn't mean that they were never gang stalkers, because that's the gaslighting, you see. They were definitely gang stalking me, but she didn't when she spoke to me right now, just a few minutes ago. And as I said, those people just leave me alone. The only one who's really been like consistently keeps doing the coughing loudly quite often when I come outside is the one on the other side of the road, the one that had the screaming grandchild. a long time ago. So this thing about gaslighting is very important, because this is how they get away with it and assimilate us, you know. Like, they neutralize us and assimilate us. Listen, gang stalking is psychological torture. It should not be happening. It's a violation of every human right. It's a form of slavery. All right? I'm not even allowed to choose for myself, you know, basic things. You know, I can't leave my house, for example, because they've stolen my vehicle. Okay? They're trying to make me be a lawyer when I was a flight attendant. That's all I ever wanted to be, okay? And I want to clarify something. These aren't do-gooders, you know, even though they pretend to be. Because before they wanted me to be a lawyer, they were trying to get me into drugs, trying to get me into the porn industry. Okay, so these aren't nice people, all right? Now, what I do believe is that they have two factions, all right? Something like that, and I haven't figured it out, and as I say, it's boring to me. I don't really, but there's some things that just become obvious over time. And to me, what they're doing is they're playing good cop, bad cop, okay? But the fact is they're all cops, and they're not cops. You know what I'm saying? That's what they're doing. They're playing good cop, bad cop. And some of them will be all nice and helpful, but will let you know they're gang stalkers. And they're the ones who are, I think, you know, like handlers, all right? But to me, anyone who does those triggers, that is a form of torture. It's called exploitation of phobias. And, you know, torture in any form is unacceptable. It's unacceptable. All right? I've got to go in. Little Junior is playing hard to get right now. It's bedtime and he keeps running away every time I get close to pick him up. Anyway, that's the end of my update. No, it's not the end of my update, sorry. I need to talk about these, the ELF, infrasound, whatever it is. In fact, I heard it called something else. Sonic weapons? I heard it called that. They've been hitting me with that, like, quite a few times every day, but it'll be for like I said before, it'll be like just part of a second. It won't be a long time. And it's definitely sonic something, because it affects my eardrums, but also like my chest and my head. But it's embedded in some kind of music. It's embedded in the beat of some kind of music, and for that split second, you see, I can't hear music, but it's as if it blares it out, and it affects me, and it hurts me, and then it stops. And I do believe it's in some kind of vehicle. Very often they're trucks, and very often it's a grey truck, but sometimes it's a white truck. I don't know, but a long time ago, there's a video there on my playlist somewhere where I actually followed I followed where it was coming from, where the infrasound or the ELFs was coming from, and it was up there. It was up there, and I followed it to the actual house, and the gang stalkers actually came out, and they were doing the triggers to prove they were gang stalkers, and then they drove past in a truck pulling a boat behind them. It's somewhere on the list. It would have been maybe gang stalking incidents, I don't know. It's somewhere on the list. So they're doing that to me more frequently now, but it's like just for a split second, and I do wonder if that is to not be detected, you know? I don't know. I don't know, but the other kinds of attacks I haven't been getting. It's just that particular kind. Oh, and there is, as I said, some kind of humming or something that goes right in my head, and it's when I'm here. And then I've talked about this before, and then there's a different kind of one when I'm in my bathroom, which is on the other side of the house. But the one that's more apparent at night is when I'm here, which is, I call it the back room. I don't really know what to call it. Yeah, so that is the end of my update. Good night, guys.